It is Mental Health Monday, sponsored by LSF Health Systems. In October, which I cannot believe is tomorrow, by the way, it is National Depression and Mental Health Screening Month. And today we have Dr. Christine Caulfield to discuss how friends and family can recognize the signs that a loved one may be struggling with depression. So very important. Every topic you talk about is very important. So great to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Great to see you too.
So let's first talk about the key indicators that we should be looking out for in our friends and family.
Yes, so if you're concerned that someone might be depressed, here's some of the things that you want to look for. First of all, change in mood, crying spells, not wanting to get out of bed, agitation, just mood changes that are different.
Yeah.
Also appetite changes, either weight gain or weight loss.
Okay.
Another is increase in alcohol or other drugs, self-medicating behaviors.
Yeah.
And not wanting to engage in activities that used to be enjoyable for this person.
Right.
And they're not engaging anymore.
Yeah.
So those are key indicators for depression.
Okay, and then how can we differentiate between depression and then someone who may have suicidal thoughts? Because that doesn't necessarily always go hand in hand.
That's correct.
Obviously, suicidal thoughts, depression can lead to that, but when you're depressed, it doesn't mean you're thinking about committing suicide. So
correct.
How do we decipher between the two?
Yes, so some distinguishing behaviors are individuals that are contemplating suicide oftentimes talk about their hopelessness, making statements like, I'd be better off, and everybody else would too, if I weren't here.
Right.
Giving away belongings is another sign. I want you to have this, that type of thing.
Right.
Also, again, increase in substances. That's a hallmark sign as well.
And then what are some effective ways then for the friends and family to support a loved one who is struggling with depression? Because sometimes you could bring it up, but they don't want to talk about it. Or so what's the way we should be approaching this?
Well, very non-judgmental.
Right.
Some well-meaning people say things like, what would you have to be depressed about?
Or snap out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not good.
And not good at all. So non-judgmental, asking how they're feeling, validating their feelings, also bringing up the fact that sometimes it's time to seek professional help, and that you will help them find a therapist or go with them to a therapy appointment. Also, people that are depressed find life activities oftentimes very overwhelming, and so offer to do chores for them. Pick up groceries, for example, things that for you it's not a big deal, but for the individual that's struggling with depression, oftentimes these can be monumental, and they can't mobilize enough to continue with these activities.
Yeah, especially if they're like bedridden because of it, the depression is so severe.
Absolutely.
It is hard for them to just even get up.
Yes.
So how can friends and family of first responders, because we've talked about them a lot, how they see things day in and day out, and they have unique challenges, right?
They really do. And so as family members and friends learn about the mental health challenges that our first responders typically struggle with, like post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety. Read about that. See how you can best help. Let them know that there's assistance for them and their family members. In fact, at LSF Health Systems, we have a wonderful program for our first responders and family members. And all they have to do is call 211 and identify as a first responder or family member, and they will be connected with a certified peer specialist that is or has been a first responder. So somebody that's walked a mile in those shoes, and they will walk them through the journey and get them connected to community resources. They can also tap into stayfitforduty.org. That's another wonderful website with resources for our first responders.
Wonderful. Doing great work. Thank you so much for joining us today. Always great to see you.
You too. Thank you.
And of course, the phone number and the website on the screen, but we'll have more on our website too. So we'll be right back.